right, you no go fit fight for your right. Now only when you know your right, you know your limits. Now then you go know say my right no get to that place. Okay. On this note, I welcome our special guest for today in the person of our SP AJAYI OKASANMI.
Rich and very strong nation. So what I want to do is the youth should choose their fight.
Okay.
They should know what they are supposed to fight for.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And cooperate with the police. Stop all these things that will make police, that will bring face up between them and the police all the time. We are their friends. Dressing that way, in those days, people cover their faces to rob and the rest of them. But you discover that now, people don't even cover their faces.
Who cares?
Do you understand? So it's just.
Now, I appreciate that. Okay, let's go straight into the business because of our time. First of all, let me ask by this: what do we really refer to as when we talk about civic responsibility or civic duty? What are we talking about here, sir?
Thank you. When we say civic duties or civic responsibility, means what are the responsibilities of the society? I mean, the citizens, the government. Every time everybody wants government to do something. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Without government, there could not be citizens.
Sure.
Without citizens,
no government.
So when the government has their own responsibility to the citizens, what are the citizens? I mean, what are the responsibilities or duties of the citizen to the government? So those duties are what we call civic duties or civic responsibilities. They may not necessarily be taken by force of law or be forced to do it, but it's a civic duty that you are supposed to discharge without being forced, without being pushed, without being intimidated to do. But morally,
are they just morally expected of
it is morally
of a person?
expected. It's moral
Restructuring for the police. Has anything been done as regards this?
Restructuring with the authorities of the
police. To restructure the police.
Restructuring the police.
Okay.
Restructuring is not something we just do by fair. It's not something we just do once.
Now so.
We've started restructuring one way or the other. Part of restructuring is scrapping of SARS. It's part of restructuring. Part of restructuring is creating more zonal headquarters. Before we used to be 3 in this zone, but now they have exercised on those time. How do I put it? We are about 2 states now, Kwara and Ekiti. Is now they have removed Ekiti from us. We have only Kwara and Kogi, Ekiti and Ondo is one zone. So such structures, restructuring are going on, but it will take time before the people begin to feel that there is restructuring. And part of the restructuring is even this issue of corruption, this issue of collection of money and the rest of them. We are working seriously on the ground. By the time people will see, we only need the cooperation of the people
against the police that they are harassing us. Small times they are harassing us. And when you check other side of it, and to be realistic, maybe you see one funky guy putting on dread, or he might decide to tint his head any color, rainbow, what have you, or do dread like whatever street guys, or wear clothes that is tagged, tattered, or look like, you understand, very expensive clothes that look like that, or use expensive cars. Police tends to pounce on this set of people more. Is there any reason for such?
You see, the fact remains that.
Or is it a crime to be funkified like a person like that, just like having fun around, jumping around, having fun?
It's never a crime. But the only thing is that we are still in a society now that is just evolving. Most of these things we import them into our culture. It is not part of us.
Now so.
You understand? It is not part of us, and you discover that, like these funkified people you are talking about, some of them could be like you, well educated. I mean, well traveled. They can come dressed that way because of what they see people do where they have traveled to. You discover that even some criminals here in Nigeria that are not doing anything would also dress the just way like you are dressed. You understand? Dress like that. But that's how they say they are rude, they dress like them. And by the time you see 2 or 3, because it's out of experience that police most time harass people with that. It's not supposed to be. But you discover that if you arrest about 7 cultists now, let's say 5 of them will dress the same way you are talking about.
Are you saying in such a way or dressing in such a way?
We get to a point, just like I said, that we are just evolving. We get to a point that we will accept it as a norm. That it will not, people will not look at you based on what you are wearing. We are still going to that level. Maybe as we are developing both technologically and otherwise, it will get to a point that it is not going to be. Discovering whether you are a criminal or not will not be based on the kind of clothes or the kind of car you dress. We are still going to that point. But as of now, we are Africans, we are Nigerians. There are still things, the native intelligence we have, to detect some crime. That even the people that we believe they are well developed and the rest of them will still be wow into that. How did you get? You understand what I'm trying to say? So, but there are still ways we can do that. But it will get to a point where all these things will become a thing of the past. But for now, so far, so long we still have people dressing that way. In those days, people covered their faces to rob and the rest of them. But you discover that now, people don't even cover their faces.
Who cares?
Do you understand? So it's just
harassment and questioning. Like, see you on the road, I tell you to wait, stop, and start questioning you. An harassment. How far can questioning become an harassment?
You see, for example, myself, most time I go out, I'll be stopped by policemen.
When you are not in uniform,
when
right?
I'm not in uniform.
Okay.
They ask me questions and I answer. You understand? As a person, I should know, even you should know when a policeman is overstepping his ground. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
Who is the owner of this car? I'm the owner. Where are the particulars? All the particulars are correct. Your driver's license, correct. Your fire extinguisher, in place. Your extra tire, in place. Everything in place. You have no reason. You understand? If you now begin to ask some questions that are not relevant to what you are doing, you know the policeman, then you can question him. Sir, I don't think this is part of what he himself will know. And a policeman, we are all trained, we have the intuition. The moment you are overstepping your bound, you yourself, you know. And the moment somebody is complying with all the questions you are asking and is producing all this, you should know that this man, you understand?
That this man know what's in the talk.
Then you know it's becoming an harassment. But the simple stop, bring this is not an harassment, it's performing his duty. Do you understand?
So when a policeman stops you to check you or to ask questions, it's not an harassment.
It's not an harassment because it's performing his duty.
It's performing his duty.
When the youth coming, okay, writing, requesting to meet the commissioner of police, requesting to meet the DPO, requesting to meet the PPRO.
Will such a request be granted?
Definitely, we'll be having them. And that's why we're having Kwara State as one of the model states in this country where youth restiveness is not as strong as in other places. Not because they are not ready to or they are not willing to do bad, but because they know we always engage them. If they have issue, they come to us. If we to foresee that there's going to be an issue, we call some of their influencers, we come together and we iron it out. Even most times they have issues with the government, they pass through us, pass messages to the government. So we have that understanding. So if a group decides to say, even a single person, an individual can come, I have an issue, I need to be, to be explained to why is this thing happening like this. Even the policeman will be proud to explain to you.
Okay.
So we need that kind of engagement.
Okay.
So the face off, if we constantly engage one another, if there's anything that you see some policemen are doing in the street that is not in conformity with what they are expected to do, as a youth, you can come up with it. That this is what you see. For example, the last NSAS protest, when the youth came to the police headquarters with the governor and the commissioner of police, they were mentioning the particular policeman. That is, this is the, and we brought the person out. It was dealt with summarily. Do you understand? So, and they were happy.
All right. But before that, let me ask these questions. Before we went for the short break, we talk about stop, check, harassment, and how far can we say, okay, this has becoming an harassment. Now, when we talk about checking, stop and check, do police have the right to ask for my laptop password, to ask for my phone password, and okay, let me check your pockets? Do police have such rights?
You see, when you say stop and search, this handset is a personal property of the owner. Laptop is a personal property that carries, like my phone now, I have so many personal items on it.
Sure.
The same thing, laptop and that. Nobody has the right to ask me to bring my phone, give them my password for whatever reason. Wow. The only condition by which that can be done is when my phone is in dispute. Maybe a lawyer has come to say, this is my phone. This is my phone.
Okay.
And it comes to the police station that so person has stolen my phone.
Okay.
Then we bring the phone in contention. What are the things you have in your phone? The password and the rest of them to find out if actually that phone was yours or not. The police have the right to demand, but not on just random check or maybe because somebody is carrying a phone, or because of the intimidation that people like Yahoo boys or Yahoo girls or the rest of them, most of them begin to ask for. It is wrong, and we have come up to say, even there was a time the Commissioner of Police signed a press release to that effect, that no policeman should stop any.
In the studio, SP AJAYI OKASANMI, the Police Public Relation Kwara Command, and has been attending to a couple of our questions. I'm very much sure I don't have it all, and I'm sure you guys will have a lot of questions to ask Oga in the house. But before then, let's just take a sip of cold water. I think we'll do the justice with this weather. I'll be back.